Hi guys, I'm Hannah Doan and I'm in EDN 301 this summer with the rest of you, and I'm going to be talking about Module 2 discussion board. And the first question is how you work grades and the grading process in your future classroom. And my grading process is I'm just going to try to be as fast and efficient with getting their work and grading it and giving it back to them, giving their feedback back to them so they can learn and grow from it and use it in the future. I plan on teaching elementary ed, so I feel like it's more important to do this with one-on-one with a student than addressing the whole class because they may not all have the same issues. How you keep students informed of their progress during the grading term. I'm just going to try to, again, grade their assignments as fast as possible and then go back to them with the concerns that I had. Personally, I believe it's more important that they understand the concept as a whole and can comprehend it rather if they answered all the questions 100% thoroughly or, as fast as I would like, if it were like a timed sort of assignment or anything like that. I think in a younger setting, I think it's more important to talk with the parents about their child's grades and also their behavior and how that can play into like their marks and stuff like that. How will achievement be monitored and recorded during the grading period? Achievement for me is just the student being able to understand the concept we're talking about and being able to use it and apply it in future assignments, such as like using and understanding cause and effect when reading or writing, and then using that and understanding what causes this or like what can make that change and stuff like that. I think at such a young age they need to be able to understand that if they don't do 100% perfect on an assignment, it does not mean that they're going to fail or they're not smart. I think it's important to know that any little positive thing or any little victory is a huge step in the right direction. How will effort and knowledge be weighed in your grading? Effort will definitely play into that a lot. I honestly believe it's about 50-50. If they're not going to put in the effort to, try to understand the material, try to regurgitate the material and work with what they were given, then their knowledge is not going to be as broad. If they, read the material or pay attention to the story we read or the chart we look at, their knowledge is going to be much greater and their understanding of the concept is going to be much wider. So I think they pretty much go hand in hand. Grading-wise, I think it's going to be pretty equal personally. Good or bad behavior. How does good or bad behavior affect grading? If you have a student that just behaves terribly all the time and doesn't listen, first of all, I think there's something personal going on that needs to be addressed before taking that in front of the whole classroom. But if they're interrupting everyone else's learning time and everyone else's ability to concentrate, I think that should be shown and discussed with the parent and definitely shown on their report cards. And I think that is something that needs to be dealt with as soon as possible before it gets out of hand and just made into a much bigger deal than it already is. And part 2, the choice questions. My initial thoughts when I watched the Miracle Workers video was it kind of made me take a step back and just look at teaching as a whole. It made me kind of appreciate, what teachers do and what future teachers like us are going through to understand and to work with these kids as they learn and they grow. And I think we have a much bigger impact than many people realize on these kids and on their futures. If we always come at things with a negative point of view, the memory of like this certain thing we're learning and the certain points were made are not going to be positive and they're not going to want to learn about it, just speaking from personal experience. But when I watched that video, it was just kind of made me stop and think about like, how little we can do and how much it can affect them, and vice versa, how little the student can do and how it can affect us as professionals and in the future of our careers.